Okay, it's pretty much the time, so I think we can start. Welcome everyone. This is Asia Exchange webinar, and this is a webinar for all students who are going to Thailand in January. As you may know, we have 4 partner universities in Thailand, 3 in Bangkok and 1 in Phuket. So I'll try to speak that way that all of you will get useful tips and information during this webinar. This webinar will last approximately 1 hour, and I will try to keep my part something like 30 to 40 minutes, and after that you guys get to ask questions. And I could tell about myself a little bit. My name is Suvi. I'm from Finland. I work at the Finnish headquarters of Asia Exchange, and I've been working for Asia Exchange for 3.5 years now. And I'm the contact person for Thai universities. So I'm in weekly contact with the host universities where you are going to go. So we can move on as soon as I can change the slide there. So here is the structure of the webinar. I will talk a little bit about things to do before the semester, things to prepare, things to take into account, and so on. Then we will briefly talk about academic matters. It's not a long section, don't worry. And then a few things to do and to remember during the semester as well. And like I said, in the end, all of you get to ask your questions and we'll have a Q&A session. There's a Q&A tab in this webinar. So even before the Q&A section, you can go to the Q&A tab here and write your questions, and I'll get back to all questions at the end. I'll try to answer all of your questions if possible. So I think we can move on to the preparations before the semester. So here is a checklist. It is a simplified one because naturally there are many things you guys need to prepare before your semester. So this 8-point list is not everything, but these are some of the things I consider to be the most important. And you can find a longer checklist on our website, asiaexchange.org. But let's go through these things first. So you will need to apply for a Thai student visa. I will speak about it in the next slide more, but I'll just say at this point that even though it's number 1 on my list, it's not something you can necessarily start right away because you have to wait until you receive your official acceptance letter from the host university. A few of you have already received yours this week, I think, but some of you have not yet, and you will receive yours most likely by the end of November. So don't panic, you don't have it yet, and it's normal, it's the normal schedule, but you will receive your official acceptance letter soon, and then you can apply for the student visa. But more on that in a moment. Let's move on our list. Number 2, make sure you have an insurance. This is very important, and all students must absolutely have a travel insurance, which covers the entire trip from the very moment you leave your home to the airport until the moment you arrive back home in your home country. So it must cover the entire length. And you might also want to consider getting a credit card. You can manage with a debit card if you prefer, but this might be a good time to think, because eventually in life you will probably need a credit card, and if you don't have it yet, then this is a good time maybe to get one. Then you will need some local currency. The exchange rates in Europe are not the best, so I would recommend getting maybe 1 week's worth of local currency, Thai bahts, or maybe like 5 days or 2 weeks or something like that, but not for a very long period, because you can get a better exchange rate in Thailand. But you need some currency, because when you arrive at the airport in Thailand, you take a bus or taxi or train to your accommodation, and you need to pay for that trip, and you need to pay for the food and all that during the first days. So make your life easier and exchange some money in advance at least. Then naturally you need flights to go to Thailand, and this might actually be a good time to start booking the flights now, because of the prices. The prices for international long flights are fairly good 2 months before the trip. So yeah, this is a fairly good timing to book the flights. Then you may need some vaccinations. If you've been traveling in Southeast Asia beforehand, then perhaps you already have all the vaccinations, but still make sure that you have the right ones. I think most of you will need hepatitis A and B shots, and then it depends if you are planning to spend a long period of time in a jungle or on a countryside or something, you might need some special vaccines. So talk to your doctor or to a nurse and make sure you have all the vaccinations you need to live in Thailand. Then number 5, submit a notice of migration to local authorities and to the postal service. This is just so they know, the authorities in your home country, they know where you are, just in case there are like natural disasters or something, so they can reach you, they know where you are. And then it's a good idea to redirect your mail so that, for example, to your parents' house, so that you don't lose any mail during your time away. Number 6, join our Facebook groups. We have one group for Bangkok students and another for Phuket students. And if you want, you can form a WhatsApp group with the other students, or just chat on Facebook as you prefer. You can also find plenty of useful information on our website and on our blog. Then number 7, try to learn about Thailand as much as possible beforehand. This is really useful because it's a very different place. If you have not been to Asia beforehand, have not been to Thailand, and most of you are from Europe, not all of you, but most of you. So it will be a different place, and it's a wonderful country. I love Thailand 100%, but it's a different place. So you might experience some culture shock at some point in the beginning, usually. So what helps is that if you have already learned about Thailand, you know what to expect a little bit. Then it helps you to adjust, it helps you to conquer the culture shock. So yeah, I would recommend getting like Lonely Planet or something, and then reading stuff online so that you know a little bit what to expect. Then number 8, you can start looking for the accommodation and roommates if you want to, but please note this is not a mandatory thing to do yet, and do not stress about it. You can start looking for roommates and accommodation if you think it's easier for you, but I assure you that all of you will find a nice place to stay, even if you start looking for the accommodation only after your arrival. There are plenty of options available, and actually I would recommend not paying anything until you see the apartment, you see the room with your own eyes, and then you know what you're paying for. So personally, if it were me, I would book a hotel or hostel for like 3 nights or a week or something, and then I would look for the accommodation after my arrival. But it's up to you guys. You get started already before traveling if it makes you feel better and more secure. Then of course go ahead. But be careful anyway, because occasionally there are some scams, apartment scams in Thailand. So make sure you know who you are paying your money to, and preferably pay only after you have seen the apartment. There, that's the simplified checklist, and now we can talk a little bit more about the visa. But as this is only a 1-hour webinar, and I just noticed that I should keep some time as well from my phone. As this is a 1-hour webinar, I won't go into too many details with the passport and visa things. But here is some information briefly. So all of you need a student visa to study in Thailand. And that student visa type is called non-immigrant visa ED, which ED stands for education. So you will be able to start the student visa process after you have received your official acceptance letter. But you can actually already start gathering the required documents. For example, you may need a passport photo and stuff like that. So you can already start like getting those other documents in line. And then when you receive your application, your official acceptance letter, then you can apply for the visa right away. The list of required documents. Please know that it can be a little bit different from one country to another. For example, French students need a document, an ID card of the person who signed your official acceptance letters. Students from other countries don't need this. So the list varies. It's not the same for all of you. So that's why I encourage all of you to Google your nearest embassy's website. So basically you can Google Thai Embassy Berlin, Thai Embassy Paris, and so on. There are also consulates in many countries, but at least there is a Thai embassy in the capital city of your home country. Yeah, check out the instructions from your embassy's website. And I could also mention that holding the student visa requires you to take at least 3 courses in Thailand. Actually, this is 4 for the students who are going to Phuket. You will need to take 4 courses because that is the minimum requirement set by the university. But normally, all students need to have at least 3 courses so that their student visa is valid. So keep that in mind when you are making your learning agreements and so on. Then you may wonder if you should apply for a multiple entry visa or a single entry visa. And here's the thing, if you're planning to leave Thailand during the semester, if you're planning a weekend trip in Singapore or whatnot, then yeah, it's practical and you need to have a multiple entry type of visa. But if the embassy or the consulate in your home country only grants single entry visas, do not panic, it's not the end of the world. Because if you have a single entry visa, you can buy re-entry permits in Thailand after your arrival. So basically, whichever visa type you get, single or multiple, you can leave the country during the semester. You just may need to buy re-entry permits at the immigration office in Thailand. But don't worry, it's all going to be clear enough, at least after your arrival, and the university staff will absolutely help you with everything to do with visas. So yeah, like I said, it's a 1-hour webinar, and we have spent 60 minutes now, and so I won't go into further details with the visa right now, but we sent you the visa instructions via email at the beginning of October. So check your email inboxes. The email was titled "Application Period Ended, Next Steps." So as an attachment of that email were the visa instructions with some more details. So check that out. Academic matters. Like I said, this is a brief section, and it's all mostly stuff you really ought to know already, but it's just a reminder of sorts. So you're going there to study. I know it can be difficult to concentrate in an exotic environment. For example, in Phuket, there are dozens of beautiful, amazing beaches just a short scooter drive away. And you may feel like you want to go to the beach every day. And go ahead, you can go to the beach every day, but still you need to remember that school comes first, and you do have to follow some university policies because you're there to study, you're not there on vacation. So, as I said earlier, you need to take at least 3 to 4 courses. It's 3 to those who are going to Bangkok and 4 for the Phuket students. And you must fulfill the 80% attendance requirement, meaning that you must participate in at least 80% of the lectures. But of course, I recommend that all of you attend all lectures, because that way it will be easier for you when the exams come. So yeah, but at least 80% of the lectures. Then there might be some excursions, some workshops, so please remember to attend all of those as well. You will get homework, of course, some assignments. Please return everything on time. It makes it easier for you and your lecturer, and that way you get your grade on time, and that is also a sign of respect of returning things on time. And then, of course, you need to take part in all exams. But this is all very straightforward. I'm sure all of you know this by heart already, but it's just a reminder. Here are a few more study tips. School comes first, like I said. So I'm sure all of you will be well aware that you need to respect your lecturers. Respect is a very big thing in Thailand. So show respect at all times, also to other students. Then you need to dress properly. Most of you will have a school uniform, so you won't need to think in the morning, oh, what am I going to wear today? Because it's going to be the school uniform, and it looks pretty nice, so don't worry. But yeah, there's one exception. Students going to CM University's MBA program do not need a school uniform, MBA program. But all the other students, you need to wear a school uniform. And of course, any kind of cheating is prohibited, but that goes without saying. Then a few things about things to keep in mind during the semester. So you arrive in Thailand, and here are a few things to remember during the first day or days. Make sure you get the right stamp at the immigration, meaning when you arrive at the airport and you have a student visa and they give you a stamp, then make sure that it's the right one. Normally, visas are for 90 days tops, and then you need to renew your visa, but the university will help you with that procedure. But make sure you have the right stamp in your passport after arrival. Then you might want to get yourself a local SIM card. Usually when I go to Thailand, I already buy the SIM card at the airport because I'm in Thailand for 2 or 3 weeks. But you might get a better deal, better price if you get your SIM card at the city. But it's up to you. If you want to go online, the minute you land, then there's many shops, stores at the airport, at the arrival gates, in Bangkok at least, and you can buy a SIM card right away if you want to. Then you might meet many different sorts of service providers, like package porters and limousine offerers at the airport, and I'm fairly sure that you don't need a limousine to get downtown, so you can just say polite no thank you and move on. Here are some tips about how you can get to your accommodation from the airport. So in Phuket, you can book a driver beforehand, or you can hop on a minibus, or you can get a taxi. But what you should know about the taxis in Phuket is that most of them do not use a meter. There are some metered taxis, but you should know that there is a taxi mafia in Phuket. And it sounds dangerous, but it's not, so don't panic. But yeah, the taxi mafia basically means that the prices for taxis in Phuket are higher than in other parts of Thailand. So yeah, they keep the prices high, and many of them do not use taxi meters, which means that every time you take a taxi which does not have a meter, you need to negotiate the price first before the taxi starts driving. You need to ask how much is it to go to my destination. And for example, from Phuket Airport to Katsu area, where the university is located, it should cost like 600 to 700, maybe even 800 baht, which is 10 to 20 euros. But if they ask you to pay 1,000 baht, like 25 euros, then it's too much for a regular taxi, and they're trying to fool you. So yeah, keep that in mind. But you can also book a driver beforehand if you want to know that there's somebody there waiting for you. You can contact Colin, our contact person in Phuket, and he can arrange a driver for you. Now then, in Bangkok, you can very easily get a taxi from the taxi stands. It will cost you 10 to 15 euros to get downtown, depending a little bit where you're going and which airport you're landing in. That's very easy if you're tired after a long flight, but you can also take a BTS train downtown. It's very cheap, but it just means that you may need to travel a little bit longer until you have a chance to sleep in your accommodation. Then you can start looking for the accommodation during your first days if you have not started the process earlier. And I encourage you to take care of your hand hygiene. You don't want to get a diarrhea during your first days because it's tough. So wash your hands as often as possible, and at least use a hand sanitizer before eating, because the bacteria are different than what your body is used to. And it might be a good idea to avoid extra spicy food during the very first days at least, but then it gives your body some time to adjust to different things, heat and spices and all that. And yeah, also remember to protect yourselves in the sun, because yeah, in Thailand there's sunshine around the year pretty much. And actually the sunscreen is very expensive in Thailand, at least in Phuket, in my experience. So you may actually want to buy some sunscreen in your home country before you travel to Thailand, and you will save money. But yeah, remember to protect yourself in the sun, because yeah, the sun is very hot down there. Yes, then the first week. You can socialize, get friends, find roommates if you want to share an apartment with someone. Then your studies may start during your first week as well. Explore the city, enjoy, eat good food, all that. Then I recommend buying a local SIM card during the first week if you didn't already buy it at the airport. So make sure you have unlimited internet access, internet package. They usually have those unlimited internet packages, so that you don't need to, you can use WhatsApp for calling and so on. Then get to know the university and the campus. For example, the campus of Kazakhstan University is pretty huge. So yeah, there's a lot to discover and explore. And then you can learn about the local culture and language. The locals will definitely appreciate it if you learn at least a few words of Thai language. At least some Savatika, Kopunka, good day, thank you, so on, and then maybe some numbers in Thai language and so on. They will notice that you're willing to learn about their culture, and they will appreciate it. Then the accommodation. This is a very big topic, so I don't really have time to go into details here, because yeah, we have 4 different universities in Thailand, and yeah, all of them are located in different areas. So that's why I can't go into details. But check our student guide. It was sent to you either this week or last week, and there are plenty of accommodation tips in the guide. And also we have some tips on our website. So check those out. But very briefly about the accommodation. In Phuket, you can consider using a real estate agent. You don't have to, but it might make things easier for you. And if you know that you can trust the agent, then it's easier for you. You can also get an apartment on your own. One way of doing that is just driving around on a scooter or on a taxi. After your arrival, you can look for rent signs. So that's also an option. In Bangkok, most of our students live in shared flats with 1, 2, or 3 roommates usually. And most of our students in Bangkok stay in the area where the university is located, around that area, more or less. That's because Bangkok is huge, and there are a lot of traffic jams. So yeah, I would recommend staying near your university. But yeah, this is it in a nutshell, but plenty more tips and tricks and information in our guides and on our website. Then a few words about transportation. So if those of you who are going to Phuket, you might want to get a motorbike or a scooter, just because it's the easiest way of moving around Phuket. Like I said, the taxis are a little bit more expensive than elsewhere in Thailand, and it's just most practical to move around like that. But make sure you have an international driver's license. Preferably get one beforehand, but you can also get a Thai driver's license, but you can't get it on your first week or anything. It takes some time. So I'd recommend international driver's license and getting it before you travel to Thailand. If you have never ridden a motorbike or a scooter beforehand, start slowly. The traffic in Thailand can be crazy, or at least it looks crazy. But you will get used to it, I promise. Just don't try to be the fastest person on planet the minute you have your first motorbike or scooter. And this is very important, so please listen carefully. Always wear a helmet when you're driving. And never, ever, ever drink and drive. This is super important, so please keep that in mind. A few words about taxes. I already mentioned about the taximeter thing. Yeah, all taxis in Phuket don't have one. There are many taxis in Bangkok which have a meter, so it's pretty easy. But one very nice opportunity, no, not the opportunity, but option, another option is Grab. It's an application for your mobile phones, and I would recommend downloading it definitely. It's super easy. You can see where the driver is. You can immediately see how much the trip costs. You can see where you're going at all times, and afterwards you get a receipt. So it's a pretty safe way of traveling. You can also see the driver's recommendations, so you kind of know who is driving the car where you are sitting in. So yeah, download the app. It's really good. A few words about safety and politeness. So, do's and don'ts. Do be respectful. Of course, you know this. It's important in Thailand to show respect and to smile. They smile a lot. It's part of the culture. So, like I said, speak Thai language. They will appreciate it for sure. Have patience. And be very respectful about the Buddhist religion, and very, very respectful about the royal family, because the royal family is very important and beloved by the Thais. It's something you should never criticize. And then, yeah, the traffic, like I said, it's a little bit crazy. So, but just use your common sense and you'll be fine. Just look both ways before you cross any streets and so on. Then a few don'ts. So when you enter a home or a temple, you should always remove your shoes. And don't point at anything or anyone with your feet, because the Thai consider that feet are the dirtiest part of your body. So you should always be kind of a little bit careful with your feet. And also, like, if you drop a coin with like king's face on it or a note, you should never like try to stop the coin from rolling with your feet. No, nothing like that. So remember that your feet are dirty. Don't lose your temper, and don't make a Thai lose face or his or her temper either. So even if you get anxious about something or even angry, then try to smile regardless. And don't take drugs of any kind. Yes. Culture shock. I mentioned it briefly before. So basically it's a disorientation you might experience when you are in a completely different culture. And some of the main symptoms include homesickness, boredom, loneliness, anger, and stereotyping locals. And yeah, if you experience some of these or all of these symptoms, I'd encourage you to speak up. And even if you feel like, yeah, I just want to be in my room and watch Netflix and never leave this room again, then I'd regardless encourage you to leave your room and be with people and talk about your feelings. And yeah, and don't do anything irrational, because things can be difficult at the beginning. I know that from experience. It's not easy to move into a different country, and first days or weeks can sometimes be difficult. Some of you won't notice a thing, you'll be happy as a clown and no problem whatsoever, but some of you might experience a sort of culture shock at some point. So if the first week is difficult, please don't think that, okay, I'm giving up, I'm flying back to my home country. Just give it some time and talk to people and wait, because I promise you that feeling will pass. But yeah, you might get one of those feelings at the beginning because it's so different, but it's perfectly normal and it will pass. Yes, then you can write a blog during your semester. It's a great hobby, and that way you can keep your friends and family updated at the same time, so you don't need to write individual messages to everyone. You can just write your blog, and that's it. And we can actually share your blog on our website. So if you want, you can send us the address, and we would be happy to add your blog on our website, and you get many more readers. And just one more practical thing, who to contact when you are in Asia. So when you are there, you should handle the practical matters with the host university. So when you have a problem with the courses or whatnot, then please contact the staff at the host university. Of course, if you run into big problems and the host university cannot help you, then of course you can contact us as well. But with the ordinary practical stuff, please contact the host university. And then after your study semester is over, you will get your transcript of records with all the grades and courses in it via Asia Exchange. That will take something like 2 to 4 months. And yes, I know that 4 months sounds like a long time, and it is, but yeah, that's how long it can take. Just so you know. Collaboration. We are happy to work with you guys. If you are a skilled photographer or you like writing blog posts or articles or whatnot, then we'd be happy to work with you. Or if you are a social media guru and you like Snapchat, you could take over our Snapchat for a week or weekend or something. And what's in it for you? You may ask, well, you get some practical experience, you get a recommendation letter from us for your work, and then we can also talk about additional rewards with you personally. Yes, we are on social media, so if you have your phone in your hand right now, like me, like us on Facebook and Instagram at least. Then we are also on Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, and Snapchat. So check out our social media channels. Our hashtag is StudyLiveLearn, and we have some pretty nice competitions and contests going on. I think right now we have a competition where you can win an action camera, and then we have competitions where you can get AirAsia flight vouchers or like what have we, Amazon gift cards and so on. So check out our social media, plenty of interesting stuff there, inspiration and fun facts and yeah, competitions, like I said. There, it's the second to last slide, and I have spent 40 minutes, so we are perfectly on time. I will go through these tips in a nutshell very quickly. So, study, live, learn, that's our slogan. Learn the local Thai language, the locals will like that. Show respect, be humble and patient. Travel, it's amazing, and it's very easy to travel from Thailand all over Southeast Asia because, yeah, AirAsia, for example, is a very good and easy option. Make friends, you can get friends for a lifetime. Stay safe, use your common sense. And last one, enjoy and have the best time of your life. So many of our students tell us that it was the best time of their life, and in the end it comes down to you, but this study abroad period has all the possibilities and all the stuff you need for a perfect fun experience. All right, now we can move on to your questions, and you can ask anything you have on your mind. I will do my very best to answer. And yeah, we have even 20 minutes if we get enough questions. So let's see, I think I saw at least one question here. Yeah, we have Tom asking, do we have to buy the uniform or will it be given to us? Yeah, you will need to buy the uniform, but it's not expensive. It will cost you something like 20 euros. And if you prefer, you can actually already buy the shoes in your home country. Like if you're a very tall person, for example, and if you think it will be difficult for you to find long trousers or shoes in Thailand, because the Thai people, they are probably smaller than you. In that case, you might want to buy something beforehand, or then you can use a tailor in Thailand. But yeah, you have the opportunity to buy the school uniform at the orientation. Usually the university staff, they will take you to a store and you will have like 20 to 30 minutes for buying your uniform, which is basically black shoes, black trousers or skirt, and a white shirt. And then you may need to wear a tie or some additional things. But yeah, like 20 euros, so not bad, and you look sharp and nice. There, I hope I answered it well enough. Then we have a question from Patrick asking about PSU in Phuket. Is it possible to do 3 courses because I need to do a lot for my thesis there? The requirement by PSU, Prince of Songkla University, is 4 courses. So yeah, you need to take 4 courses, but you can decide the level of the courses, of course. So if you want to take one of the easier courses on top of the 3 courses, then yeah. But I'm sure you will manage, and I'm sure you will have enough time for your thesis and your courses. We have a question from Constance. For the MBA at CM University, you want us to send the courses we would like to do, but I would like to have the approximate schedule before doing so. Is it possible? Yes, a good question. The schedule for CM University MBA program is usually published maybe around this time. I think the first schedule should come out sometime during November. But actually, the thing is, the schedule is based on your wishes and on your course selections. And the schedule will change a lot. It will change many times before the semester starts. And you can change your course selections as well. So you are asked to do your initial course selections pretty much now, but you can change the courses afterwards when you arrive on campus. So don't worry, it's not like set in stone, you can change it afterwards. But yeah, the schedule is only 100% certain at the beginning of the semester. Question from Tim. What do you mean with the notice of migration, point 5 on the check-in list? Yeah, I mean that most countries, well, I can at least speak on behalf of my home country, Finland, the authorities have a form online which you can fill out and say, I will be in Thailand for 5 months, and then you provide your address in Thailand and so on. So the authorities know that you have left your home country for a certain period of time. So yeah, I think you are from Germany, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly which are the authorities which control the notice of migration in Germany, but I'd recommend you to Google it if it's not clear at this point. Then a question from Tom again. When should we consider that? Is it not normal that we haven't received the acceptance letter yet? 1st of December or later? I hope and believe that all of you should receive your official acceptance letters by the end of November. But it's also possible that the last ones arrive at the very beginning of December. So yeah, you can contact us, let's say after the first week of December if you still have not received yours. And we can always send your document to you via email as well if you think that it helps. But sometimes embassies do not accept the scanned version, so it may not help. But yes, we can send it via email as well as soon as we have it. Just give us a notice. We have a question from Aljona, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is Exchange changed some party of the website for the CM University, especially the file according to the terms for courses? For spring, there is the quality management included now, but there is no such course in the general course list and no syllabus for it. Where do you get it? And is it definitely going to be arranged? Well, right now I cannot check our website, I'm sorry, and if this particular course will be arranged. But I can get back to you via email later on. I'll make a note that I will get back to you. And yeah, if there's not a course syllabus for every course, we can ask those from CM University as well. Another question from Aljona. I need to ask questions about the courses to find out if my university accepts the course. The syllabus is not precise enough. Whom should I write an email to? You can write an email to info@asiaexchange.org, and either I will answer or one of my colleagues will answer. Tom asks, when will we choose our courses? How does it work? And Tom is going to Kasetsart. For Kasetsart University students, you will choose your courses during the first week of lectures. So you can attend all courses you want during the first week, and you don't need to decide right away. You can go to 10 courses if you want. And then at the end of your first week, you submit your course selections. So you don't need to worry about it beforehand. You can just look at the schedules which we receive a few weeks before the semester starts, maybe 2 weeks or so, and then you can go to all courses you find interesting, and then you can decide afterwards. A question from Alexandra. Do you have any app to find how to reach a destination in Bangkok by BMT or MRT, so with the expected time? Well, Probably there are some websites or apps. Personally, I have not used those, but yeah, I'd say be prepared for delays in Bangkok. The city is huge, and the delays are, well, there are a lot of jams and so on. But yeah, I'd recommend Googling. I don't remember an app or website right away, but I think the official transportation of the city should have some kind of website about this, I think. Then we have a question from Delfina asking, when will we receive the official acceptance letter? I think you're going to Rancid University, if I remember correctly. And I think you will actually receive your acceptance letter in a few weeks, since you applied a little bit late. So, but by the end of November, I hope and believe. Questions from Constance. Oh, it's just an okay, thanks. All right, moving on. Aljona says, during your wedding, we will arrive 1 day late. Do we need to inform only you or also the university, and which email do we need to use? Yes, you can inform me and I can inform the university, that's enough. So you can send email to info@asiaexchange.org, and either me or my colleagues will answer. I'm also reading those emails there. But yeah, arriving 1 day late is not a problem. But just remember to let us know. Patrick asks, how much is it for a motorbike per month? I think it's something like a few dozen euros, maybe a 30 euros or something. So it's not wildly expensive. Megan asks, what is a typical week at CM University? Well, it depends if you are in the BBA program or in the MBA program, because the lectures at BBA program take mostly place during weekdays, Monday to Friday, and like on daytime. But the courses for MBA program take place on the weekends and in the evenings. Aljona, there are no holidays or free time before the exams at CM University? Yes, there are no semester breaks, but there are a lot of public holidays in Thailand. So you will definitely get some days off and some long weekends. So don't worry, you will have free time for sure. Question from Patrick. Is there a connection between the time of paying the university fee and getting the visa application? No, there's no connection. You can get the visa already before you have paid the tuition fee. But yeah, you need to pay the tuition fee at least 1 month before the semester starts. Tom asks, when is the best time to find your roommates, before or after arriving in Bangkok? Either way, you can start looking for the roommates in our Facebook group if you want to. But if you want to be sure that you and your potential roommate are a good match, then yeah, maybe you want to meet the people in person before committing to 4 or 5 months of living together. But it's up to you. Both are good times, now or after arriving, when you meet the people face to face. Patrick asked, what is the right stamp of immigration? Well, basically, it just needs to show that you have the permission to stay 90 days in the country, and it must not be a stamp that says tourist visa or anything. Just make sure they know that you're on a student visa and with 90 days of validity. I think the tourist visa is usually 1 month, 30 days. So make sure you don't get that. Leah asks, is there a limit for the courses, how many students can join? Well, usually the limit is 6 courses per semester, but Kazakhstan University students can actually take 7 courses. When will the orientation week start at Kazakhstan University? Question by Imke. Well, I can't check our website right now, but if I remember correctly, I think it was January 11. And then there might be some not very official event on January 10, which was like a get together by the university or the faculty. So yeah, around that time, January 10, 11, but 11, I think it was the official orientation day. But the dates are on our website. So Emma asks, I'm going to Kazakhstan University. Do you suggest going to the campus before the orientation day to check out the place where you have to be? Or is it okay to arrive in Bangkok the day or 2 days before and go to the campus the first day of orientation? Well, it's up to you. Kazakhstan University campus is actually pretty huge and it can be confusing to get around. I know that because I've gotten lost on university campus every time I've been there. But yeah, you can get there for the first time on the orientation day, no problem. But just make sure that you arrive early enough, like maybe 1 hour before the orientation starts, so that you can find the right place. And of course, if you have the opportunity to arrive in Bangkok, maybe even a week or many days before the orientation, then it's always all the better, and then you get to explore even more. Okay, you guys are very active with your questions. We have only a few minutes left. Okay, Megan says it's MBA. You asked about the schedule, the normal weekday. Yes, so your lectures will be mostly in the evenings and on weekends. Patrick asks, during the semester, 1 week in the end of April, I need to go back to Europe for an excursion. Could that be a problem? Okay, please send us an email about this. I need to check with the university, and you should also talk about this at the beginning. Usually it's not a problem to miss 1 week if you don't miss any other lectures, because like I said, there is a 80% attendance limit. Then Imke asks, do men have to wear long trousers as a school uniform? Yes, they do. Delphina asks, for the visa, they ask for the ID of the person who signed the acceptance letter. Who is it? We will send that to you via email, or actually, I think you will actually get it with your official acceptance letter because you're going to Brunswick University. So don't worry, you will get it. Question from Algerna. Are there monthly or weekly tickets for the BTS and buses in Bangkok? How much do they cost? Yes, there are at least weekly tickets or monthly tickets. I think weekly, yeah. So yeah, they're cheap. It may be 10 euros for a week, or I think at least the daily ticket was 4 days, 4 euros, so very cheap. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely recommend buying a monthly or weekly ticket, and there might also be some discounts for students. Question from Vanessa, but at this point, if my IT person is listening, please let me know if this connection cuts down immediately at 1 hour or if we still have time. Vanessa asks, when will we know what courses are offered by the university? When will we know the exact schedule or the courses we can choose from? Well, now I don't remember which university you are going to, but the final course offering will be available at the beginning of the semester. But some universities publish the final course offering a little bit earlier than that. For example, PSU in Phuket has already published it, and Kasetsart University will publish it maybe 2 weeks before the semester starts. Patrick asks, is the anti-rabies vaccination really important? Usually, I think you don't take rabies vaccination. No, hold on. Yeah, I think in my country here in Finland, it's automatically, some of it is given to people as babies. But if you get bitten by an angry dog, then afterwards you will need to go to see a doctor and get a vaccination just in case the dog has rabies. So usually it's taken afterwards. And then 2 more questions, and this is it, the last ones. Emir asks, can we get a presentation in a PDF file? Yes, you can. We can send it via email. And now I also make a note for myself to do that. And the last question is from Patrick. So you will be our contact person for Thailand at Asia Exchange. Yeah, basically it's me, but you can contact my colleagues as well because they know a lot as well. And if I'm on a holiday or whatnot, it's best that you always email to info@asiaexchange.org, and then it will be either me or my colleagues. But yeah, basically, yeah, I am your contact person at Asia Exchange for the universities in Bangkok and Phuket. Oh, we also had messages in the chat section. But yeah, that's the same questions here. Okay, I think that was it. We went 2 minutes over time, but that's not bad. So thank you a lot to everyone for participating. I hope you got important and useful information during this webinar. And you always feel free to contact us via email, via phone. You can send us a Facebook message, or we have a live chat on our website. So there are many channels to contact us. And we are happy to answer your questions. Yeah. This is it. Thank you very much for participating, and I hope you will have enjoyable and exciting 2 months left before you travel to Thailand. So thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.